It should tell me on here. There we
There we
go.
go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Just Add Bourbon podcast. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr,
Now, J.D, what's going on?
and this is our election night special. JD and I got a new toy with our streaming software, and we thought, why not come on tonight during this all important night, which is election 2020, our presidential election, and just kind of chat and, see what's going on. Was telling JD before we jumped on, we're a little bit late. He was having some internet difficulties. Surprise, surprise. That's nothing new for us. It's technical difficulties. And I literally just walked in the door, like probably 10 till 9. So it gave me a minute to catch my breath. So, JD, what's going on this evening, brother?
After we just got on here and make sure ain't nobody jumping off no ledges or, doing nothing crazy. Presidential election night. But tomorrow we're going to wake up. We're all going to go to work. We're going to be fine, man, no matter what the outcome is.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I said, depending on who wins, I know we were kind of chatting with Eric a little bit yesterday over text. And I said, I have felt a sense of uneasiness about this election that I don't know that I've ever felt before. Like, I wanted Trump to win last time, and I was excited when he won. But as far as I have a level of uneasiness that I've never had before an election, because I'm afraid no matter who wins, there's going to be something's going to go down after the fact.
Man, I think it's definitely a possibility, but I just hope, people keep their heads and realize that these guys don't feed us. They don't feed their family. Like, life's going to go on, man. Like, we've been through bad presidents before, and whatever your ideal that is, we'll go through it again, maybe.
What I always tell people is we survived Obama here in Eastern Kentucky, and that was a very hard 8 years as far as, especially my business. I actually saw it affect my business directly. And, people blame Obama for the coal industry. I've said it on here before. It's not totally his fault, but we survived. And if Biden wins, we'll survive. If Trump wins, we'll survive. And, I'll show up. I'll wake up in the morning and go to work. And, like I say, try to put people in debt. That's what I do. And, and life will go on. So, JD, I was telling you, I don't know a ton. I'm sure Kentucky's already been called.
It has. Biden won.
By what?
No.
No, so I'm sure Kentucky. I'm trying to look at the map here.
Trump obviously won Kentucky, won Tennessee.
And I'm sure he won Indiana.
He won Indiana. That was the first one called.
What about Florida? Is Florida too close to call right now?
It has been called, but I think Trump's got Florida in the bag.
Yeah. So what are you seeing, man, as far as the battleground states, the ones, because it's generally Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and I think tonight North Carolina's playing a big factor.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knew about North Carolina. I didn't hear anybody say anything about North Carolina.
I've heard some talk about North Carolina for the past couple of weeks that could be a tight race.
Well, apparently the Biden's put it in play. It looks like he's making a push for it. When I walked in here, he was up a couple of 100,000 votes. And, didn't expect that to happen. But it looks like if he can pull North Carolina and Ohio, that about seals the deal for Trump.
Yeah, and West Virginia, too. I don't know. Is that you or is that Eric? Did you put that in there or did Eric?
That must have been Eric. Well, yeah, West Virginia was already called for Trump, too. Yeah, you're right, Eric.
Yeah, so and that's no surprise. I mean, that's no surprise. And I think Virginia got called early, too, for the Democrats.
Which is weird because right now, last I seen, Biden or Trump was still winning that. I guess they were, forecasting, the precincts that haven't been called yet, like what they projected Biden's going to win by in those big, urban areas. So they called it for Democrats, which I don't understand yet because Trump had a pretty good lead there last time I seen.
Yeah, and that was my bride that commented. All right. I said, was that Eric? That's Amy. There you are on the screen.
I'm glad I didn't talk too much trash here.
Yeah. So one of the things I have been, I was trying to listen to the radio a little bit while I was driving tonight. And one of the trends that they thought they would see is when the early vote came in, it would skew blue, because a lot of the early votes were Democrat. And as the night went on and the rural votes started to come in, that you would see it kind of, roll back to, kind of red in a lot of places or really get tight. Are you seeing any of that?
Yeah, I think that's what happened in Florida. Actually, I think I think Biden had this big lead, coming out, and Trump with the rural areas just kept chipping away at it. With all the counties in Florida, 5,000 votes in this county, 6,000 votes in this county, and he chipped away at that lead. And I think that's what's going to carry him to victory in Florida. But I think the opposite's happening in Ohio. Actually, I think Biden's just outperforming Trump, and he obviously outperformed what Hillary Clinton was able to do in 2016, which is a bad sign for Trump in his campaign. Because I don't think they've got in the early voting in the Ohio race yet. So
no, I think they said in Ohio they were going to count it last. That would be the last thing they counted. That's one of the things that I always find interesting when it comes to these elections is the different rules that the different states have about counting votes. He knows Trump's going to win, so he's tore up.
Trump ain't going to win, brother. I got bad news for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
If Biden wins Ohio, brother, it's over. I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, a Republican hasn't won the presidency without winning Ohio.
In modern day times, nobody's won the election period with Ohio. And it looks like Pennsylvania's voting just along with Ohio, so that's bad news for the campaign.
That'd be bad news for Trump, man, if that's the way that it holds. So have you heard anything about like the voter turnout itself? Has voter turnout been real strong?
Yeah, I think everywhere. I think the voter turnout is up everywhere. And what about Texas being in play for the Democrats?
Yeah, well, I was sitting here watching something, and then
that's real.
I was texting with Brad just a second ago, and I said, "Hey, can you tell me what's going on?" Because I know he's watching it. And he said, "Too early to tell. Trump won Florida, which is usually a tell for the winner. I think Trump will get a lot through the Midwest. A lot of states left. I think he's going to be fine." They called Virginia with like 1% of the vote, and now CNN is walking that back. Trump is surging. And that would be a shocker if he won Virginia.
Sure. So they may trade Virginia, North Carolina, maybe a trade-off.
Yeah, that may be a trade. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, but again, I was saying it's funny all these different rules these states have. And I was sitting here watching the Texas count, and it was in the congressional seats, I guess. And all the winners in Texas were Democrats.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of people. One of the things I don't think people really think about or factor in is you've got a lot of people who grew up on the West Coast or, even on the East Coast in these bigger cities that are moving to other places because of taxes and things like that. But a lot of people on the West Coast are moving to Texas.
Well, I think that is probably having an impact on the election. But I think what's happening really is Joe Biden's ground game. Get out and get that young Latino vote out in Central Texas. This is going to have a big impact on this election for Texas. In the Austin area, in the San Antonio area. And that's, obviously Harris County, which is Houston. They said if it was a state by itself, it'd be the 25th state in the union. So it's a big. So what Biden has to do is run up his vote totals in those big areas, and then hope it's enough to carry him to victory.
Well, one of the things I saw earlier, JD, was that the Latino vote in Florida was actually, Biden won, but the margin was a lot smaller than it was. Are you surprised by that he made some ground up with the Latinos in Florida?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I think one of the things Republicans have been trying to do, and obviously they've had some success doing it, is identify the socialism that they're trying to push, or what they perceive to be as socialism, with Cuba. Right,
that makes sense too. And all those people in Florida come from over there.
Coming from Cuba, and they don't want that no more, man. They're done with that. And the Republicans have played a smart game with that immigrant vote in Cuba or in Florida, and so that makes sense to me, man. Honestly, I think it's a smart strategy, and it's going to pay off for them in Florida.
I know something else I heard too is that the African American women vote, is really trending strong Biden.
Yeah.
And in a lot of these bigger cities, man, that are more urban, that's a big deal, and Biden had numbers like they were stupid numbers, like 90% to 10. It was a big gap.
Yeah, I heard that, that the male to male ratio was fine, pretty close as far as black male to white male, but the female, the black female was really going to carry Biden to carry Biden's day at the end of the day. Like they was going to have to get out. That's what Hillary didn't do. She didn't mobilize that vote 4 years ago, and And it looks like Biden's been able to do that, especially in Ohio, in Cleveland, and then up into the Toledo and Youngstown area.
So, and Michael Todd Cooper, I want to hear JD blow the Trump train when Trump wins too. If Trump wins, JD, can I get the Trump train from you?
Can I get a Biden train from you if Biden wins?
I'll do it. If you'll do the Trump train, I'll go Biden train. I even got the T-shirt. I didn't want to say it right now, but I'll do it. I've even got the T-shirt.
Yeah, right. You do well.
Yeah. Hey,
I just hope, man. Like honestly, at the end of the day, like I hope a lot of, especially the people, where we live, we get all caught up in these federal elections, and it is important, man, who we elect as our leaders for our nation. And we're all proud to be Americans. I am. And I'm sure you are. But, man, I hope that people keep their senses, after this election is done. And I hope democracy wins. I hope there's not a bunch of court cases and prolonging all this stuff. Let's count the votes. Let's have a winner. And the other guys step back and bow out gracefully.
Yeah, well, I hope so too. And I mean, I think here, I don't think we necessarily have to worry about it. I know we've got a lot of people who support Trump here. I do worry in these big cities, though, either way it goes. Like if Trump wins, I'm afraid they're going to burn these, cities down. And if Biden wins, then Trump supporters are going to burn the cities down. Like that scares me. Like I truly have had an uneasiness about it. I've got an uneasiness about it, man. I said, I really do. Josh Horn, 79% in North Carolina, and Joe leads by almost 100,000 votes.
That's going to overcome at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Texas is, we don't know, Amy, what you mean by that? But Texas is my girl. She loves me.
So what's your thoughts, JD, on, and I want to go back and touch on what you were saying, though, is, look, it's what we said in the beginning. No matter who wins, whoever's elected is our president. And we have to hope that person does a good job.
Absolutely.
And that all ships rise. Now, does it concern me somewhat if Biden wins? Yes, it does. But at the end of the day, he's still going to be my president. I may not like it, but he will be my president. And I'm going to hope that he does well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I honestly, I disagreed a lot with Trump, but I'm a cheerleader, man. Like for our president, because I'm a cheerleader for America. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want Trump to do bad and millions of people lose money or lose health care because I want him to lose an election in 4 years. That's stupidity, in my opinion. I want America to prosper. I want Americans to prosper. And so, yeah, no matter who gets elected now, that's going to be my president.
And guys, those that
Trump was my president. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
And people act like that. I don't know. I guess people have a hard time saying that, but the fact is, he's the president for the last 4 years. And we've got done. We're through with that. It's the biggest debacle I think it's been. But I'm not wanting him to do bad. I've never wished failure upon him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I hope going forward that's everybody's attitude.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I mean, at the end of the day, too, I liked what you said. Locally, what happens on the national level does have an impact, but what really has an impact is locally. It's on your street corner. It's improving your little piece of the world, trying to make it a better place and participating in the process locally. And I think at the end of the day, that's where people really need to focus their effort. And, of course, we're going to vote for our president. We have certain values that we vote, based upon, or certain policies and the things that they say. But at the end of the day, let's just hope all boats rise, man. I said that's all I really want. Let me ask you this. I know, any shock that McConnell blew out McGrath?
Yeah, he got lucky.
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah, he blew out. It wasn't even close, Yeah. And our boy got beat. Glenn Martin Hammond, Lee lost.
Did he get beat? I didn't see that.
I think that something I don't like, man, about our area. I don't like on either side, either ticket. I don't like that, man. People just going in and voting the party vote. I just don't like that. That's lazy. And it's irresponsible. And I just think that's probably what he had to overcome, and he just couldn't do it.
How bad did he lose? I didn't get to see.
I can't remember. It came off my head, but it's pretty substantial, I think.
Yeah. What about the McCormick lady that's from Martin County? What about her?
I don't know. I didn't look at that race, honestly.
I'll have to check that one out too. And of course, guys, any of you that are watching, if you've got a question or a comment, please feel free to do so. And if we like it, we'll put it up on the screen and maybe discuss what you bring up. So JD,
background.
Huh?
Can you hear that guitar?
I can.
That's Chase, I think.
Is that Chase picking?
Yeah, he's learning to play.
Are you in Tennessee?
I'm in West Virginia.
In West Virginia? Your dad's in West Virginia?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a good thing about technology. We can be anywhere.
Yeah. And I figured I'd come over here and hang out with him and watch the election results and chase him when he comes. And so we all hung out and had some soup and some peanut butter sandwiches and hung out and talk smack.
I love it, man. I love it. So your dad, does he sway more Democrat?
Yeah, he's a hardcore Democrat, man. Like he's
hardcore. He's a car carrier.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. What about Chase?
It's a shame that people hate. What is he saying? Josh, are you drinking?
Hold on. I'll put that up because we're gonna have to interpret this. It's a shame that people hate pilots and moms.
You know what? I never thought about it, but I do hate pilots.
Do you really? Why do you hate pilots?
Stations used to be really good. You remember those pilot gas stations? How clean they was?
Yeah.
Now Flying J's where it's at to me. Like
right.
And moms, like I don't know about moms. Like my mom's awesome, so I don't hear her.
I got a pretty awesome mom too.
You're
right. That's funny. So, what do you think the night's going to be like, JD? Do you think, I think last year, God, me and Brad set up till probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning by the time they called Trump. Do you think we're going to know tonight who the winner is?
I think so, man.
Do you?
I think so. Norma's up in her race, the McCormick lady. 3,896 to 2,093 with 31% in. Josh, did I get the Glenmore and Hammond lose? Did I get that wrong? Are they still counting that race? Oh, Josh, wow, Josh. Well, daggum, pop that back up, right, Jimmy Don.
What, this one?
Yeah, I'll put Josh's well daggums.
Oh, well daggum. Okay, it's a shame people hate pilots and moms.
Look, that's Amy McGrath. Well played. Sorry about that.
Well done. That went right over our heads. She flew that right over our heads. Well done.
Yeah, but obviously people like turtles better than they like pilots and moms. Okay, so
right. Oh, I can't get it off there. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, Glenmore and Hammond lost. I was right on that part.
No, we definitely got the ads. Well, daggum. It's a McGrath statement. Did y'all not get that? No, every day, multiple times.
How dare you?
Hey, hi, Aunt Bonnie. There's my Aunt Bonnie checking in.
Oh, what about Marcy's Law? Do we know about that yet?
I don't know about that. If anybody knows about Marcy's Law, let us know.
Haley, hi Haley. You say you're watching live. Hi Haley. Love you, girl.
Let's see. Wheeler's up 23. Oh, wow.
He's up big.
Yeah, he's up big. That one's over. I hate that because I really like Glenn Martin, man. He was, game enough to come on and talk with us and
absolutely
liked what he had to say. So, no, you're right. The straight ticket, I did not vote a straight ticket this time. I actually went through and individually looked at each race, and there was a couple of different ones that I voted across party lines just because I like the individuals better or like their platform better. And I think that's how everybody should vote.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, man. That's what. Why even have a democracy, man? If you're just going to, tell your party's going to tell you how to vote every time, you're going to just follow it. Yeah.
Looks like Trump is up in Georgia right now, 56 to 42.9. That was with like 61% in. And Georgia was one of those states too that they thought might be kind of a toss-up too. They thought that may be. You may get that urban voting, it may shoot up for Biden. Yeah, right now Trump's down big in Pennsylvania right now. But it's only 14% of the votes in. It's 58 to 41 essentially.
Whatever, Co just text me and said Trump 2020.
Somebody's raising that boy right. It ain't you.
No, Haley, I love you more. And Co, I love you more too. They're messing with me. They're texting me on my phone while I'm talking to you live.
Yeah,
guys, we got. You can text right here on the thing, guys. We get your message up, your comment.
yeah. We'll put your comment right
If
up
you
on
tell me
there.
you love me on here, we'll even put it up for everybody to see.
Oh, I will. Yeah, we want to brag about that.
Oh, okay. So it looks like the Marcy's Law. Josh, is that Amendment 1? Is Marcy's Law Amendment 1?
I think so.
Okay, so it looks like 1,021,098 yeses to 590,494 no's. So it looks like that's Marcy's Law is going to go into effect.
Yeah, I think we ruffled a feather the other night with the talk on Marcy's Law, and did not obviously intend to do that. I based my decision on some, different things I read. I knew what it was, but I based my decision on just some different articles, and I actually did some research on that.
I dropped the ball. I meant it right here on the live. Heather Harrison sent me a lot of information on Marcy's Law. She sent me article after article. She emailed them to me, and I just simply didn't take the time to read them. That's my fault. I'm sorry, but I'm glad. If it's going to help our kids, man, and give them more protection, that's something I'm all for.
Yeah, and I thought of Heather's argument. That's why I asked Harrison on when we were on there, like why. I knew it was probably because of something to do with Heather's job, and so I was interested to actually hear the reasoning on that. Why they felt so strongly about it, because everything I had read looks like Lindsey Graham is up right now. I don't think they've called it, but I know he was in a hot battle too, man. Graham was.
South Carolina. Yeah, that was a highly contested race for sure. What was the numbers on that, Jimmy? Did you see?
It already went past.
Okay. Like some of these guys are a little bit frustrated, man. They go on that map and they're showing me this year or 2016. Well, go back and let me see it again, like what it is now.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, and it is interesting. An interesting comparison.
Yeah.
Because I know I was listening to something earlier where they were talking about Northern Kentucky, where it's so close to Ohio, and how strong Northern Kentucky voted for Trump, and which kind of surprised me. And they said that in the last election, that exact same thing happened, and it boded well for Trump. And what they were saying is like, look, that may be
an indicator,
that Trump does get Ohio, and it is neck and neck in Texas right now. Like it's 59-59.
Yeah. So what's interesting about a lot of these things is we don't know if the early voting is counted now or not. Like every state and even precinct is doing their turn of early voting in differently. So it's just gonna be a waiting game, man. It's gonna take a while to clear all this mess out, but I hope we know something tonight. I think that's the best thing for us. As a democracy, people can go to bed and wake up. They know what the deal is instead of this long drawn out thing. But I'd rather get it right and take a couple of days if that's necessary than to.
Yeah, I just want it to be a fair election.
Absolutely.
All the votes counted, and then winner's the winner, and then we move on. And if Biden wins and doesn't do a good job, then we try to vote him out next time. That's the name of the game, right?
The game. That's it.
I did see that a Senate seat got flipped in Colorado from Republican to Democrat.
Trump gained in Ohio. He's got a lot of ground to gain, from what I can see. I think the problem, Eric, that he has is that the early voting isn't. The mail-in voting in Ohio isn't being counted yet. So he's got a tough road to hoe.
David Duff says Kanye 2020.
Easy, baby.
Has Kanye gotten any votes? Do we know? Has he even been on the screen?
No, I don't think so.
I'm wanting to see that Virginia come back in because, based on what Brad told me that, Trump was kind of surging in Virginia, which would be interesting, if they called it at 1%. But, I mean, Virginia's been Democrat the last however many times. And I heard an interesting statistic. It was like from 1960 up until I want to say 1990 something, it had been Republican. And then it flipped Democrat and had been Democrat ever since, which was interesting.
Comment up. The last comment.
What's that? I'm sorry. Hold on.
Will there be one side can see defeat in the AM, or do you think it'll drag out? I think it just depends on how this all plays out, Jason, honestly. If it's a state that has, ballots still out, like if that can sway the vote, if there's not a big enough lead where those absentee ballots can sway the election, I think then we'll wait. I don't think concession will be tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll have to be pretty decisive. one way or the other for one of them to concede, because I don't see either one of them conceding. If what's that, Maryland? They've already got the box checked for Maryland for Biden, but only like 4% of the vote in. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, Virginia. Let's see what Brad Duncan had to say. Virginia with almost 50% in. Trump is up 12. They might have called that too quick, but I'm not sure what parts are actually reporting, right? Because you get into those bigger cities in Virginia, they're heavily Democratic.
Yeah, and it looks like Biden's still doing well in Ohio. Still, a couple 100,000. Looks like 400,000 votes in Ohio. And Chastity's up there. At least you still know Amy McGrath is still a fighter. Absolutely, Chastity.
She's also a mom.
Yeah, mom. And Mitch McConnell's been in there too long.
And he's been there too long. And according to Gunner, Mitch McConnell's done nothing for Kentucky. Nothing. That's my 8-year-old nephew. And that's how many ads of Amy McGrath have been played. She spent $75 million on this race. $75 million. And then got slaughtered. Look, all right. I didn't want to get on this tonight.
Go ahead. Do it, man.
So one of the things that wears me out about politics in general, right, is they spent $75 million in Kentucky trying to beat Mitch McConnell. The Democrats have raised some stupid number, like in the last 4 years. It's like $500 million. Dude, we could take that and pay off our national deficit.
Right.
Like, why do we put? I just, it doesn't make any sense to me.
There's a lot of things we could do with that money. A lot of things.
Healthcare.
Absolutely.
You could do universal health care. We could have the biggest, baddest military on the planet. What is it?
Roads and some bridges.
Right. Anything.
So
Anything.
That's a good question. He goes, where does McGrath go politically from here? Away. I hope.
I hope so. I mean, because look, that makes 3 elections or 2 that she's been beat now.
I think 2. But I'm going to tell you this, man. We had Charles Booker on this show, and I think he would have been a much more staunch opponent for
I do too
than McGrath was. I know he lost to her, but I think his appeal statewide would have been much better had he been able to win that primary. I just really do. If he had the machine behind him instead of behind her, I think he would have been a much more.
I do too, JD, because I said he absolutely. I was so impressed with him. Trump is taking the lead in Ohio now.
Perfect.
So we'll see, man. It's one of those deals where I don't know, man. Like, I looked at a poll the other day. It's a company that has picked 24 out of the last 26 elections correctly. And they had Trump winning by like 140 electoral college votes. I mean, like, it was a slaughter.
Right. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't either. I think it'll be close. Like, I think it's going to be close. Like, it may be. I said the most 2020 thing ever would be, I heard this on KSR today, is that it ends up tied. And then it apparently goes down to the states, essentially, to the House of Representatives, and each state gets a vote. And if that was the case, Trump would win. But if it tied, then what happens? And nobody knew the answer to that. And I thought, wow, what that would be the most 2020 thing ever.
Oh.
I'm trying to see here now. We got Biden won Colorado. We knew that. Connecticut, Biden won.
What's the count, Ohio? I need to go. I'm going to get back in there and watch it in a minute.
Let me pull up here. Let me see if I can pull up the count. Talk a little bit, JD, and entertain the crowd while I look this up.
Where do you guys think where all the money came from? So I mean, these PACs, man. Obviously, these super PACs, these the parties. They get all this money from these PACs, and people donate. Man, that's what's sad. Like, is these people give up their life savings, to back these candidates who don't have a prayer, don't have a chance. 43 to 55 in Virginia, Trump in Virginia right now. Percentage-wise, I guess he's talking about.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he may carry Virginia, man, which is
that would be crazy. That would be surprising.
I remember Ohio, like it says Trump's winning now, but I'm still wondering about the absentee ballots. I don't know. Like
right now, Trump is 49.8 to Biden's 48.9. It's 2,067,458 for Trump, 2,029,209 for Biden, and that's 70% of the precincts reporting.
Yeah, so it's going to come down to the nitty gritty in Ohio. Sounds like. What about Pennsylvania?
Let me flip back here.
And has Wisconsin even closed their polls yet? I don't even know.
Probably not. I'd say it's getting close though, because I know Iowa. We're talking about polls closing in battleground Iowa in minutes.
Yeah, Trump's got Iowa in the sack.
Right now, Biden is up with 17% of the vote reporting, 53.6 to 45.3. It's like 603, 802 to 510, 828. So it's still early there. Let's see.
I race, Josh. It sure is.
So, but yeah, the money thing has always kind of worn me out. See, what policy are you most looking forward to if your candidate wins? That's a good question. JD, I'm going to let you start. What if Biden wins? What do you? What policy?
It's about healthcare for me.
That would be for Biden. That would be healthcare for me too.
So that's the one I'm most interested in is him extending healthcare for more people. What about you?
And if Biden won, that would be the one for me too. Because I agree, and I've told JD this, I agree with Biden on healthcare. I've always kind of agreed with the Democrats on healthcare. I don't necessarily think that their plan is the right one. I think that, you get some smart people in a room, you can do better than what we've got. But I think every universal healthcare is one of the most important things out there. And as JD likes to say, however many other countries have figured it out, surely to God we can too.
Right.
And now for Trump, for me, it's all about economics. Okay. And Trump, whether you want to say he was piggybacking off the Obama economy or not,
I do.
There's no question that Trump had taken the economy to new heights. And the black unemployment was an all-time low. Latino unemployment was an all-time low. That didn't happen under Obama. That happened under Trump. And I would like to see if we can get past this pandemic where things are open back up, what can really happen. Because I know what's happening for me, what has happened in my business, JD, with the tax cuts that he made and with a lot of the regulations that he's made has made a huge difference in my business. It just has.
Right, sure.
That's me on Main Street. It's just made a huge difference. It's allowing me the opportunity to expand where I hadn't really had the opportunity before because of cash flow. The cash flow is a lot different now because of the taxes and different things. So, I'm excited to see, because if Trump does win, then I've got plans, of some things that I'm going to try to do to try to capitalize on what I think he can build in the economy. So for me, that's what I'm most excited about. What about you? You got anything for Trump, JD?
No, I hope he loses. No, I mean, if he wins, I hope the economy's good, man. I hope he continues to build the economy. I'm hesitant that he can, though, because I do believe that he did. I mean, it's not fact. It's not me just saying it. He did inherit a good economy. He did inherit a growing economy.
He did
inherit an economy where the black unemployment rate was 17% before when Obama took over, and it was at 7% when he left. So, I mean, those things were shrinking too. So he did inherit a good economy. So I if he is reelected, I hope the economy can boom and make things good for all of us on Main Street.
Yeah, no, I hope so too, man. Like I said, it's been good for me. And a lot of times that's how I vote is, based on economics. I think a lot of people probably vote that way. Trying to look here too, North Carolina, Biden up 20,000 North Carolina. And then let me put up Josh Horn here. Since Mitch McConnell thanked coal miners for his victory in his speech, maybe he will do something to help them with black lung, or at the very least speak on their behalf instead of making them group together and drive to Washington, D.C. just to be heard. Can't necessarily argue with that, Josh. I don't know, man. I was a vote that was up for grabs when it came to McConnell. My vote was up for grabs. and who the Democratic machine brought as their candidate, I just wasn't voting for him. I mean, I just wasn't. And, I promised Eric I'd write in his name, but then he went Team JD on me, and I changed that and wrote in JD's. But no, that was one of those things. Again, the Democrats, I think, in places like Kentucky, people just don't feel like either party is meeting their needs. They feel like they're forgotten. And that's Republican and Democrat. And Mitch McConnell proves it over and over again every time he gets reelected that, to me, he doesn't really care about Kentucky. His policies, as a matter of fact, have been the opposite. Tobacco, coal, all those things. I mean, but McGrath, I think, was worse. And that's what's scary. That's why I couldn't vote for her. I felt like she was worse.
Baco said you had to cough up a black lung before you get a black lung.
Right. That's probably true.
But Jimmy, I just want to get on here and jump on here for a few minutes, man. Talk. You want to wrap this thing up, or you want to keep?
Yeah, brother, we can. I'll sit here and talk with you all night, man.
I can't watch news in here where I'm at. So I need.
You need to go in. Well, guys, we appreciate you guys jumping on with us. Again, as JD and I try to figure out our new format here, we love having you guys comment. JD, I think it adds something to the show. And I hope you guys will continue to do so in the future. JD and I will retire and for the evening and watch these results. I'm probably going to go down and hang out with Brad and watch him be all nervous if Biden gets up, if Brad's watching. And guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us again. JD and I, we got anybody for Thursday?
No.
Okay, so I could use the night off anyway.
Right.
So we'll be back on Sunday. Sure, we'll be talking about this, the election results and how things went down. Until then, you can catch our past episodes on iTunes, on Spotify, Amazon Music, and of course, you can go to the Podbean app where you can download all the episodes that we put out. Continue to follow us on social media. Eric will be putting that content out. And as we always end our show, from myself and from JD, no matter how bad your week's been, and no matter how bad your day's going, and tonight, no matter how this election turns out, if you just add bourbon, it always gets a little bit better. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.